Welcome back. Good morning, good afternoon. My name is Xavi, and welcome to the first webinar of our first and official sponsor, Blockchain Factory, in this channel, and to all different networks where we're sharing right now from Merge accounts. It's a pleasure to be here today to moderate this space. Today I have with me Tomás Quevedo, founder of Blockchain Factory. How are you, Tomás?
How you doing, man? How you doing?
Then we have in my bottom left side, I've got Stuart, founder of Galactic. Welcome, Stuart.
Hey, Xavi, how you doing?
And last but not least, I've got Alan as well with me, founder of Aventus. Welcome, Alan.
Thank you. Hey, everybody.
So today we have a very cool webinar to share with everyone who's following us on different social medias. Welcome all. We've got the chat here with you. We can see all your messages. We have people from every different part of the country telling us hi, welcome, from Mexico, from United States, from Netherlands, from many different countries. We will for sure make sure that we also answer your questions. We won't forget about you. But today we've got a very interesting topic that many might have already learned in big titles, right? It's called Unlock the Truth Network Validator's Node. Let's dive into this. Let's explain to our audience what is all of this about. But first, I think it's crucial to put in context, who do we have today with us? So we've got Stuart. And Stuart, just for the audience that does not know who you are, it would be great to tell us a little bit about your background, who you are, what have you done in this ecosystem, and why is it crucial today to listen to you?
Yeah, fantastic to be here, first of all. I spent the last 20 years of my life in the media business. I started my life at the Daily Mail in 2008. We grew that to be from a newspaper to the biggest online English-speaking news website in the world, with hundreds of millions of users. I moved from there to Global Media, where I worked on their digital audio exchange and commercializing their digital revenues. And I was there for about 7 years before I moved to Rightmove, the biggest online property portal in the UK. So kind of 20 years of literally driving users into new platforms. And about 2020, I became super interested in the Web3 space. I'd been personally interested for a long time, but I literally dug deep and was looking at the best ways that we could drive user adoption. And that's where I think Web3 had really struggled, was driving user adoption. And I stumbled across various prediction markets that I thought had a great concept, but the UX and UI lacked the delivery to make it easy for people to onboard. And it was very difficult for Web2 natives to convert into Web3 users. So literally, I've spent the last 4 years building an enterprise prediction market, partnering with the biggest media companies in the world to onboard millions of users, one partner at a time.
Wow. We will for sure know more about this prediction market maker. Sounds super, super interesting. But then we've also got Alan Vey. The big question, Alan, what have you achieved as well in the past that you could share with our audience today?
Absolutely. So my background is more technology in nature. I did a degree at Imperial College in London in computer science, but focused on artificial intelligence. Back then, AI wasn't the hot thing blockchain was. This was 2016. And I got building various companies. So 2017, did an ICO with the business Aventus. We sold out in a couple of minutes and kind of sold 60,000 Ether worth. And I've been building companies ever since. So our mission has really been all about how to move companies from Web 2 to Web 3, right? Helping big enterprises go on that journey. We've been doing so since 2017. So we've worked with some of the biggest businesses across the telecommunications space, energy markets, payments, loyalty, and media and entertainment. And that's how I met Stuart when he was looking for some really robust technology. That's how I met both of these guys, actually. I think Tomás was in a similar position, looking for some technology that could deliver on the Blockchain Factory needs. And we were fortunate enough to come across both. So Aventus has really been focused on how to build blockchain networks, to build tokens, and we've had some good luck with that. So I personally built about $500 million worth of value across Web3 and AI businesses.
Wow. And then Tomás as well, tell us a little bit about you from the community, from Merge probably, that does not know the Blockchain Factory is our official main sponsors. And also tell us, how does this three enterprises here connect together today? What is this connection all about?
Well, thank you for having me here, and hello everybody that is listening us today. Well, I've been in the space since 2013. I started mining bitcoins like many other people started, and then trading, and then has the opportunity in 2018 to participate as a node owner of a blockchain, and that really changed my life economically because give me the opportunity to be not in the space of buying tokens, in the space of creating tokens, let's put it that way. And I met with Alan Vay because I want to build a blockchain that we can deploy to companies in the less than 30 days. They can have their own blockchain, their own tokenomics, and their own validator nodes. And Alan introduced me to Stuart Stott because he was ready to launch a project that I got fascinated the first day that I heard about it. That was prediction market. And one of the things that I've been building since 2013 is network of people that want to learn about cryptocurrency, and they want to be in the front of this new technology. People that don't know nothing, but they're willing to learn and participate. So Blockchain Factory is kind of give the opportunity to our regular people to be part of the ecosystem.
So let's start from here because that's a great point, right? People wanting to learn and to jump into this space, but this is, we could consider it a brand new ecosystem. So my question here, Stuart and Thomas, and please, Alan, feel free to add if you want to, is what have been the biggest problems from digital infrastructure for companies to jump into and adopt Web3? What has been this bridge and how difficult this has been from Web2 to Web3 bridging?
Alan, Thomas, do you want me to go?
Stuart, you're the best case scenario.
For us, it was looking at having reliable partners. So it's people that have got experience in enterprise technology and scalability. They're kind of the core fundamentals for us. The reason that blockchain and prediction markets, so Web3 and prediction markets, are so important is that it gives transparency in a market that's lacked transparency previously. So it really is the kind of foundation of what a prediction market should be. But on the technical side, I'll pass to Alan as it's his technology.
Yeah, I think we've seen this, I mean, especially in the Galactic case, but even more generally, right? The biggest barriers, I'd say number one was regulation. The fact that this was a brand new unregulated market led to the ICO wave where a lot of people got scammed and got burned. We then saw the NFT wave where very similar things happened. And there's been this journey of difficulty, that great excitement about what this technology can do, but stumbling blocks as you go. So the biggest stopper of traction has been not having regulation, not having clear guidance on how this technology can be used. And that has changed. This last 18 months, we've seen the US, we've seen Europe, we've seen global territories all get much more robust frameworks. So it's no longer a question of, oh, am I going to get fired for trying some new technology? We're now at a point where, why haven't you built your Web3 strategy? That the board is kind of asking their team members. So the past of the industry has kind of been dealt with, and all of those hurdles to adoption have kind of been cleared out the way. And that's why we're seeing the emergence of amazing companies like Galactic taking on prediction markets and not doing so in some fringe jurisdiction and trying to get around the rules, but doing so onshore America and in a variety of other territories. And that's, I guess, what Tomás is building on as well, right? As a factory of these blockchains, now you can go to enterprises. You don't just have to go to new startups that are willing to take a chance.
And many of us might be already thinking, what is this prediction market all about? And how has this technology been accessible, or how do you make it so accessible to anyone who's listening to us?
So I think there's probably two aspects to touch on here, and I'm going to go back to the election in the US in 2024. So, sorry, last year. So if we look at the election, most of the polling data was wildly inaccurate. So you look at the polling data and it's suggesting Kamala Harris is going to win. And this is a kind of landslide victory. And we've seen it for the last 4 election cycles that the pollsters are getting it wrong. You go to the prediction markets and they're predicting it right. And they're predicting it right at such a level that the variance is really small. So we started to see that actually using the wisdom of crowds and prediction market models, we could find the real truth underlying through the wisdom of collective thinking and people putting their money where the mouth is. It's different if you go on Twitter and you do a poll and there's loads of bots and you've got nothing to lose. Getting the truth is very difficult. Whereas if you are in a prediction market and you're putting where your money where your mouth is, then we understand what's happening. By utilizing the blockchain, essentially we have the transparency of real users. So we know that everyone's a real user. We know all of the transactions are real. Essentially at the base, we know that the market itself is true. So the outcomes that we're getting are providing data, which gives us insights into future events like never before.
And Stuart, what type of companies does fit good to work Galactic with?
Yeah, so we've already partnered with 3 major publishers. The publishers are all 30 million unique users or above every single month.
Wow.
Having come from kind of a high volume background, for me, onboarding users takes a lot of testing and actually making sure you have enough volume to drive users into the platform. So I think our biggest partner has 300 million followers. Our biggest media partner has 70 million uniques. So we have a huge base there to start from, but we're working across multiple verticals. We're working across creators in gaming, sport, and then news and politics as well. So there isn't one singular vertical. There's a variety of verticals here where we think there's going to be a huge interest. But I think if you look at things like politics at the moment, politics is really a hot topic. Sports is another. And I think there's areas of the market that's underserved that we can definitely drive new users and more importantly, bring a whole new community to Web3.
And getting back to this new business models, right? And we will for sure know more about blockchain factory and the main purpose that offers Blockchain Factory. But Alan, in terms of tokenization, it's a word that we have heard a lot. In terms of real assets, from your point of view, which industries are being successful when it comes to integrating this disruptive and innovative business model?
Well, there's so many nowadays, right? I mean, in the early days, people kind of picked everything and anything and tried to wrap a token around it. But I think people have properly understood nowadays where it really works. I think some interesting places to look is DePIN, decentralized public infrastructure networks. We're seeing more and more come out in this space. So think of big things like energy grids. Typically, it's a country that creates an energy grid. Nowadays, we're seeing more of a micro level where you have solar panels and electric vehicles. So you can create and distribute energy in a decentralized way. That's an amazing use case for this technology. Think of a mobile phone network, which traditionally the government set up and laid all of the towers. Nowadays, you have people at home who buy a little box, and peer-to-peer between all of the houses, the internet is shared, and you have a blockchain to kind of regulate the system. So that DePIN is a really, really interesting space. Then there are a few others, right? We're starting to see different areas of some kind of financial assets, so tokenized real estate, tokenized securities. Obviously, this is what BlackRock, the biggest asset manager in the world, is kind of really pushing on. I think Larry Fink said the future of finance is tokenized real world assets. So a bit less exciting from a technological perspective in that scenario, but much more efficient, right? You don't need 10 different people in clearing houses to deal with trades. You just have people trading directly with each other on the assets themselves. And then I think where we're seeing the most innovative use cases in finance is in derivatives. I mean, we've got prediction markets here today, right? Technically speaking, legally speaking, prediction markets are binary options or futures contracts. This is a new way of representing derivatives in the financial world that sit in kind of a new category of regulation. And where before you could only trade very specific assets, you can kind of break that out into anything now and let people kind of take a view or hedge even against any future event. So yeah, for me, those are probably the top 3.
Good. And Thomas, maybe some of these examples of the pin and this technology that Alan has mentioned, or even blockchains that many of us are familiar with, people might think, oh, it's probably too late, or Solana is already a very decentralized blockchain with already many node validators. What does Blockchain Factory here bring up with, and exactly what is this about node validator in a blockchain that is brand new, we could say?
Well, let's use those three examples that Alan gave it. Okay, so it's good to have a blockchain that kind of administrates everything that happens in one industry, and that's good for the company standpoint. But it comes the other side. The other side is to be decentralized. So how can you decentralize a blockchain? Well, one of the ways that you can decentralize a blockchain is giving the opportunity to have in the blockchain validator nodes, or the miners, if you want to call it that way, so people can understand it. But in reality, it's validator nodes. So when the transaction happens, 10 different validator nodes has to verify the transaction, and for doing that, they get rewarded. But what is the reason they get rewarded? Because a blockchain needs computer power, and that computer power a specific blockchain can buy, or a company can buy, or give the opportunity to third-party people that they can use their own computer power to help the ecosystem to verify the transactions, and they're getting reward those tokens, and those tokens can be used in their own ecosystem, or people can sell it or keep it. It's up to them. So big companies today has the opportunity to sell products to third party, but at the same time to help third party people to be part of the ecosystem and get rewarded. And everybody can participate that wants to participate. So Blockchain Factory is looking for two things. One, help companies to come in the Web3 arena, and help people that want to know and participate to be part of the ecosystem. So now we're launching a True Network. Well, it's already launched, True Network. We have the opportunity to give it to people that they can be or having an ownership of a node. I have that opportunity in 2018. I have 7 different validator nodes for 7 different companies. And one of the biggest problems was waiting time, because this company has to start building and then get the product done and get start working and giving the reward to people. In this case, the blockchain is done. The app or the software that helps people to do the polls are done. Everything is done in reality here. The only thing that we're waiting is for these big announcements and partnerships that we're going to have in the next couple weeks, couple months, or every month one new announcement with these media companies. But people have the opportunity to have the ownership of these nodes and participate in the True Network ecosystem, validating the transactions that happens there, giving their computer power, and get rewarded.
Just tell us one sentence each, guys, about because I understand that you guys are into crypto and you understand how crucial and important is the decentralization in a blockchain. But for others that probably are not that familiar with how crucial or how important it is to have a network decentralized, meaning that there is different validators and that no one has it centralized and has full control to decide when to turn it down or whatever. What is for you guys then the crucial aspect, or why is it so important to build a blockchain like Root Network that is decentralized overall?
Well, maybe I'll take a swing at that one.
Yes.
I think the value of decentralization is making sure that you're accounting for a diverse set of interests. If there's just one or two parties, let's say there are 3 parties that completely control something. If 2 agree on one way, the other party doesn't kind of get their way, right? And there can be very small groups of collusion to benefit a small minority of people. When you have thousands and thousands of people, all with differing backgrounds, different incentives, all participating within the same ecosystem, you really get a much more fair and equitable spread of decisions that are made. You become more resilient. Let's say somebody tries to do a hacking attack. you cannot take down something that is decentralized. Something that's centralized, there's one point of failure. Decentralized has thousands of points that you'd have to attack. It's not really possible. So it gives you a more secure, resilient system. It gives you economic incentives that are better because all of the different participants have differing incentives and have to collaborate just by the rules that they've agreed to rather than playing other games to sort of achieve the outcomes of the network. And then it's what effect it's kind of like a public company if you think about it. When you have thousands of people who have an ownership piece or at least some degree of stake within a network or a company, all of them are going to do any deals or add value that they can to augment value for the whole ecosystem, right? So you suddenly have thousands of people all rowing in the same direction rather than just a few.
Okay. Stuart, what about your point of view on that, being the prediction market also deployed on Truth Network?
I think in a time where there's so much misinformation, where AI can produce so much fake content and so many lies can get around the world so quickly, I think having a point of truth is more important than ever. And having a decentralized way to do that, where you can really let people's opinions count, is hugely important. I think we're really at the precipice where social media is such an important tool in our daily lives, but it's so easily manipulated. There's so much misinformation on there that actually having prediction markets be the arbiter of the truth and really get to the bottom of it through a decentralized platform is going to be crucial in how we see the future of media and decisions being made. So from our side, I think it's a vital part of the industry.
Thomas, if someone would be listening to us later on, for sure, we'll share more information of the blockchainfactory.io page. But maybe one of them might already be thinking, what do I need to have? Or what do I need to know in terms of knowledge? Do I have to be an expert to take part into this and start validating truth and network blockchain? Do I have to have a degree on financials? What are the things that people need to have, or maybe they don't, to start participating on that?
Well, I would say people need to want to learn. Okay, so if you want to earn something that you never earn, you should learn something that you never learn. But is they willing to learn? I would say it's not difficult, can be easy if you're willing to. Okay, anybody can participate, and that's the idea. But everybody that's willing to learn. And now everything is in Blockchain Factory. We have 1, 2, 3 steps that you have to know, and then you can run your node. So that's not a problem. The only niche here is your willingness to do something different, to have something different. That's it. But in question of tech, the tech is already being done. The software is already being deployed. It's kind of like a download software, run your node, check that everything is running and verifying transactions. It's a simple thing to do, but it's not like a set and forget it. It's more like if you're willing to learn.
After all,
sorry, man, sorry to cut across, but I just really want to underline something Tomás said there, because this is a question that I've heard come up with this project often. We talk about like miners or validator nodes. I think the important thing for people to understand is it's just a software program. So if you're able, it's like your email. You can download an application on your computer and check your email, or you can, as in you run your email yourself, or you can log into a website and check your email where somebody else is running your email for you. It's basically that simple. You're running a computer program and you're checking it. Whether you do it yourself or you have somebody else do it on your behalf, that's what it means. But what this computer program is doing is all the exciting stuff the guys are talking about.
Absolutely. So I want to ask our audience, of course, which is increasing in more people watching this webinar, and we have people I've just read from 3 a.m. in Australia. That's crazy. Also, people discussing on their Telegram groups. But I want to ask them if they have any questions. We've got great Stuart, founder, co-founder of Galactic. We've got Alan, founder of Aventus. We've got founder of Blockchain Factory, Thomas. You have the 3 legends right here online. in this streaming. So feel free, please, to add any questions, any doubts that you have while we keep on speaking. So I'm just making sure we've got also the voice of all our audience decentralized, and they feel free to ask any questions they would like to. One question I want to ask you all, because after all, you're business experts, you're working on this field, and you're seeing how this industry is increasing and also the difficulties it's facing. One question that I would like to ask you is if any company is willing to jump into blockchain, willing to tokenize, willing to use the software of prediction market, willing to be part of a node validator blockchain decentralization, which advice would you give to that company that understands, or let's say sees the power in this industry, but hasn't made the first step yet to jump into it?
Was kind of three different questions. So I would say, Stuart, if anyone wants to have the software or prediction market of that Galactic offers, what is the requirements that they need to have? What are you looking for?
So I think there's like 3 different questions there, but I'll break them down.
Yeah. That's true. My apologies.
No, don't worry. I like a multi-question. It's good. So I think, first of all, anyone who's moving into this space, I think one of the most important things is creating a really easy user interface where people can onboard as simply as possible. So it doesn't matter if it's with us or with any other platform. If you make it easy for users, it's much easier for them to use it. I watch people explain Web3 all the time, and the best example I can give is my iPhone. I have almost no idea how my iPhone works in every single part of it. However, it works and I use it, and I never question how it works. It just works. The problem with blockchain is quite frequently been that we have to tell people how everything functions to think it has value. And really, the functionality can always underlie and bring value without having to explain how it works each step of the way. That means that you have to have really easy processes for people to follow, and it needs to be easy to onboard users. The second piece for me would be, how do you create onboarding strategies where you can develop hundreds of thousands, if not millions of users immediately? And this is where the strength of partnerships comes in, where although you might have a small user base in the beginning, by having incredible partners who believe in the vision and the technology, it allows you to then onboard huge numbers of people. But that again comes down to your product. If your product isn't easy to use, isn't simple for users to adopt, then you're going to have the same problem whether you're sending 1 million customers a day there or 10 customers a day. They're not going to convert. So from our side, it's those combinations that really make us a powerful platform. In terms of what we can offer to potential media partners, if somebody has kind of 10 million plus, the kind of lowest we look at is 10 million plus uniques a month, typically 30 million a month. We can onboard customers within 6 to 8 weeks and literally build them a prediction market within the platform that allows them to onboard users. And that's everything from us running the compliance, us doing the UI UX, us doing the branding, the visualization, and building everything from beginning to end. So we have built this enterprise level so that we can onboard businesses easily, but we've made it so efficient for users to come on board. It really is the kind of first of its nature in the Web3 space.
Awesome. So it sounds amazing. Yeah, Thomas, sorry, you want to add something?
No, I want to ask the same question to Alan. Alan, which companies, because I think you already answered that, but which companies, you already say 3 different companies, that they can jump in the blockchain, because everybody wants to be in Web3. So everybody wants to be in Web3, I have people that say, what is Web3? Oh, after Web2, Web3. Okay, cool. That's a simple answer, but it's not. Which companies are the ones that are going to succeed in the Web3 arena? Local companies, global companies, what are the companies? Technology-based, rewards-based? What is the companies?
So in my opinion, from what I've seen, right, is you could be even more abstract than that. If one company is trying to use this technology just for themselves, it's unlikely going to be the right technology for you. If you're a company and you are working with a variety of other companies and you've got whatever your business processes are, any of those business processes that multiple companies have to kind of deal with between each other can be optimized. So loyalty points, where you're spending them in loads of different shops and you're earning them from loads of different places. The other side of that coin is aviation miles, right? Aviation loyalty programs, great ones as well. Then you've got the more blockchain kind of centric ones where you're looking at collectibles or fan engagement. There are new channels and new ways to engage audiences with these technologies. And then you've got the more complex one, the regulated ones in the financial asset space. We spoke about those and the decentralized public infrastructure networks. So really, it just comes down to having processes between a bunch of different businesses where you're looking for efficiency rather than having middlemen that need to mediate those interactions. You interact directly without those middlemen, just based on blockchains and smart contracts.
Okay. Thomas, let me go to some questions that we have with our audience, and please, we're always more than happy to answer them. We've got different questions for Thomas, Alan, Stuart. I'll be throwing them. First one comes with you, Thomas. You can see it down here. What is the quantity, more or less, that of nodes that are being sold right now? Or I'm sure you might not know the exact number, right? But
I think it's more than 12,000 nodes being deployed already and has ownership in the ecosystem. And our goal is to give all those nodes to people's hands. And I think it's going to be happening in the next 3 months. But we're going to Argentina. We're going to be there. We all three are going to be in Argentina. Our CEO is Chad Barron is going to be with us, and more people that's going to help you to understand about the nodes and has the opportunity to own one, actually. But yeah, we are giving we're giving those nodes to people that want to be part of the ecosystem. Everybody can go to blockchainfactory.io if they want to get more information about the nodes. But at the end of the day, if you can find somebody that is owner of the node and he can share the information with you, it's all over the internet. I think so.
Absolutely. And of course, the power of connecting face to face, and that will be possible in Merch, Buenos Aires, from the 24th, which is the VIP dinner, but 25th, 26th of March. I've got another question, and this one comes for you, Stuart. I think you kind of already answered, which is great, but let's put it back here. Which is the latest date you expect the first prediction market to be operational?
So we will be announcing a major partnership in the next 2 weeks. It'll be probably the latest, the 2nd of April. And I imagine we'll go live on the 1st of May with predictions. It will be within the sports vertical. And it's with a brand with over 70 million uniques a month. So it's going to be a major announcement. It's going to be a major disruptor within the media sector. We're very excited about revealing to everybody, but I've been warned not to say too much.
Absolutely. This has just been answered. The other questions where people are willing to know exactly what are the names of those partners. We'll have to wait for that.
We've got some really special ones. There's a few that are kind of we've already spoken about publicly in terms of Inter Miami and what we've been doing with Polkadot and their partnership there, and we've been helping with the kind of overall fan engagement platform and prediction markets, trivia, and these sort of binary-based outcomes are going to be really important to the future of fan engagement. So there is some incredible partnerships that are already in the public domain. The real details of these will start to come out in the next few weeks, and you'll really start to see these strengthen.
Awesome. Thomas, we've got other people asking here. George, to summarize it, when are we going to when is Blockchain Factory going to throw some more news and some more excitement announcements to make a push for those that haven't got their node already?
Well,
you can share something, or if you got anything on the roadmap coming that we can tell. I understand some aren't told yet.
In reality, it's not about we want to launch real news, yeah, because listen, one of the biggest problems in this market is that everybody's thinking, okay, so you guys launch the blockchain and you guys launching the token, so when the token is going to go to the roof, so or to the moon. That's it. We don't do that. We don't really care about that, because token has a real usability when these partnerships start working in the market. So in one side, this business produce tokens, and for the other side, these tokens be burned by the companies that using the token as a gas fees. So everything will happen when the time is set. Is partnerships already in place, but they are the ones who has the right to announce, not us. And what True Network can do, actually, you guys can go to true-network.io and you can see the companies that are partnered with us, like NFL alumni, Inter Miami, and you can see everything. You can see the light paper, you can see how the distribution is going to happen, you can see how many tokens are given to the people every day. Everything is there. Everything is transparent. We're not in the rush to selling notes. We are looking for the right people to give those notes, and they can run in the ecosystem.
My suggestion would be follow galacticmarkets.io. Go to galacticmarkets.io or go to Galactic Markets on X. All the latest news will come out on X first, and we'll break it from there. So I think there'll be some major announcements around the time we're in Argentina. So I would keep all eyes on there. But they're going to come thick and fast. So keep tuned in on X at Galactic Markets, and you'll find out everything you need to know.
Sure. Let's make it easy for the audience, and then I've got some questions for you as well, Alan. But just for people to know, maybe we've just said URLs too difficult. Let me just
back here one question that says that a Raspberry can run a node. As any normal computer, yes, a normal computer can run a node.
Okay. Yeah. So we've got I don't know, my internet connection is going bad. No, it's not. We've got Truth Network. That's a website we talked about. You can learn much more about the partners here that we've mentioned. Then we've got also Stuart talking about galacticmarkets.io. Some fresh news will come up very soon.
Yeah, and follow us in X. In Galactic, please follow us in X. True Network, follow us in X. And you guys can get announcements there all the time.
I don't know why my website is not.
And actually, if you see Galactic, you can see the software, how's the interaction of the software.
And then also going back to some questions as well, to if people want to know more about the future of business and where to take part into this node validator, you can also visit blockchainfactory.io. Let's get back to those interesting questions that we have with our audience. I've got one here for Alan, which was, Alan, Truth Network is planning to do any meetings around Europe or to appear in the next few months around Europe, for those that are in Europe, like myself?
That's not really a question for me, Thomas. Maybe you can give some insight there.
Actually, I think we have the event that we taking place in March, Buenos Aires, and then I think the next event that we're gonna have is in the one by the same time of Token 2049 in Dubai, and we don't have yet any plan on Europe events, even though we was in Europe with our team in Amsterdam, but we don't have yet that. But I hope, everybody's focused in the technology, the partnerships, and building the network. And that's the major events that we have. The one in Token 2049, and we have the merge in Argentina.
We've got many, I'm reading too many questions. We might not be able to answer all. Let's go for the last ones. And this one, I think it's quite interesting. Maybe some of you can put us a little bit in context, right? Which role does True Token, True, TRUU, take place in all of what we're talking about here?
So the Truth Token, the role it plays, right, is it's on the Truth Network. So every time that Galactic has a market that is created, 5 cents worth of Truth tokens, $5 worth of Truth tokens are purchased, paid, and burned by the network to create that market. Then every time somebody buys an outcome, essentially places a wager within that space, they pay $5 in Truth tokens to place that. Then when somebody wins, that gets distributed out. So you can think, if you have hundreds of thousands or millions of users all participating in these markets, you will see the biggest in market is Polymarket, right? They do about 400,000 transactions a month on average, just in and out of placing things. Then you have people adding liquidity, so all of the activity, people buy tokens, pay, burn them. That's called the gas token. The token is also used for governance. So one token, one vote on the Truth network. This will deal with system upgrades, network parameters. And then there's 20% of all of the Truth token supply that sits in a Truth community treasury. So every single token holder gets to vote on how that treasury is deployed in the best interest of the network.
Okay. Awesome. Thanks for that, Alan. Great. So I think we've got mainly all answers, all questions answered. Some people are already willing to know where can I get those notes if I'm more interested. As Thomas said, they can learn more about blockchainfactory.io. At least you can go there, find out more information, understand the potential, and from there, take your considerations and move forward if you want to. That right, Thomas?
Yes, that's right. And actually, is people in our ecosystem that they own these validator nodes, and you can find them, I don't know, on YouTube. They can find in social media and Facebook, and they can help each other. This is a close community, and the idea is to somebody that owns a node can teach somebody how to be onboarding, because the company can do much. But if you own a node, you know how to run it, you know how it works, you can really help somebody new to get onboarded into the system.
And the best part of all, for being part in this webinar, Blockchain Factory can reach you out easily. So you are already connected inside the community. You're already around this community. So do not worry. For sure, you will have access to the information. And that's pretty much everything for this today's webinar, and where we meet those three legends, Thomas, Alan, and Stuart. We started here, but we don't. We don't pause here. We will see us on the event Buenos Aires, which I remember again, it's the 24th, 25th, and 26th. Yeah. I have a little bit of delay. Sorry for that. My internet connection is a bit slow. There's many other questions, so feel free to jump to the social medias, to Galactic Markets, as well to Truth Network, or even to Blockchain Factory social media X, and make sure you follow them. Make sure you stay tuned, and make sure we see us in Buenos Aires, 25th and 26th. Thank you, guys. Thank you, Thomas. Thanks,
Thanks,
Alan.
everyone. Have a good one.
See you in Argentina.
Ciao, ciao.